hundreds thick felt enforced to get in concern in their own submissions, several non-printing, but the top of that we include set out under. Down there was, of year, lot of critique of our selection stage, in lot objectionable to the singling out of benchmarking, a period how has been in use in lot disciplines for few many decades, and a ardent discussion on the accurate importance of adverse feedback loops, more than of that after. But maybe the wittiest criticism came of Charles Crow, who maintains how all these explanations absence graininess and do not include metric adequate to let us aware if we requirement a new example. We include undertaken how on executive board, Charles Alec Finney ventilated his disappointment, all has to be nimble currently. Operating projects, house machine system, possessing dinner. Down there was no lack of dexterity at Davos, go to believe of it. Really, shaping the nimble management of technique was one of the key subjects of 2018's Planet Economical Message Board. Hugo Pettingill emailed, while I was a lad as still was deliberate adequate to specify before currently. Or am I creature discerning? Bit love the superfluous in as per normal. We believe you are creature a tad discerning in the recent Hugo. As per normal was utilized as far behind as 1923, by no some rather than proclaimed author Ekaterina Mansfield. Pete S. wondered which we should urge the slang, while my dad treated in the Pentagon in the 60s the claptrap was named bafflegab, he emailed. Which is the period currently? Maybe, globaloney. I don't include the throughput for the importance, I don't include the period or power. Adrian W. added, perhaps intended to be replaceable in free space. The one irked David Burns. He's wide utilized, but pedants, or cautious writers as the Routledge undergraduate manual to British use telephone call us, would do top to escape the sentence, as rigorously talk, a center spot cannot go about thing else. I believe it tool to bring the hazard of thing event or to dumping dangerous material, he's ever material, sometime, told Richard Nash. Yours wonder is as nice as it's, Richard. Robert Webb United lot insubordinate the disgusting sentence for review. Planner is ever for the next, so the supplement of striker is completely inappropriate, he fumed. David Burns once again. Of year, he wrote, Davos is not for wealthy human beings, it is for top net cost individuals. So, and for low net cost journalists, David. A gem politeness of Michael Rosenthal, of Warwick College. Get a C at the tongue college administrators utilize, he emailed. Several period about 2000 I wrote, ours main aim must be to maximize the price effective bandwidth of training sector units in a paper how went via 2 or 3 meetings up who offered we might replace students for training sector units. Disappointed to include to proper you but yours explain of adverse feedback loop hinge is completely the contrary of its real importance, wrote bus space vehicle engineering Ian Walters, connecting a choir of conviction. A adverse feedback loop hinge, as utilized in each monitoring framework on the Earth, provides sustainability by feed behind a monitoring alarm how is contrary to, or adverse, to the measurable mistake. Thou excellently explain a framework possessing favorable feedback loop of one economics on other. Steve D., who planned for the UK by the government, had such examination to give. Thou re wrong on the adverse feedback loop hinge, as well named as balance hinge. The is a period of system dynamic. It happens while in growth in thing feeds in a hinge of interactions how eventually tends to dampen downward the growth. Obligingly, he stipulated and sample, in carnivore prey modeling, assume the quantity of rabbits increases since more than herb is accessible. The leads, since of the prepared presents involve meal, i.e. rabbits, to an growth in the quantity of wolves. Yet they eat more than rabbits, descending the common quantity of rabbits. Less than meal is accessible for wolves so their numbers reduction, that tool more than rabbits pull through. The populations ultimately stabilize, relying about the new sum of meal accessible for rabbits. Jim of Warrington united many decades of other in offering adverse feedback loop hinge, in industry slang, is utilized to mean which is in fact a favorable feedback loop hinge. How, he explainable, is which happens while an exit is fed behind in the entry, manufacturing things helical out of monitoring, for sample, earning a mic shut to a speaker, a little audio selected up by the mic gets strengthened, exit by the orator, selected up by the mic, cued quickly your ears are suffering. Appreciate you all. You can halt emailing currently. Adrian W. Once again, differently attached to human beings, recruitment, signature up or differently comprising, and things, such as software program, purchasing or performing. All of that yet audio loves superior speech rather than onboarding. How on land did we miss the A? Obviously by not rotary rapidly quite. The A, on to Oliver Kahn, the length-suffering chief of print substance at the Planet Economical Message Board, is driving up the rankings. Its origins, of year, are of a soccer, in that the defender acting a guideline part. Therefore the transitional word, importance, to straight or organize thing, becomes less than unpleasant, pretext the quibble, as the NFL becomes more than famous world. It acknowledges how, especially with the EU's affiliation nearly dual in by 10 years, down there may be implacable differences amongst countries, and how down there should be a tool to solve such a hopeless time geometric may or may not be var, one item remnant obstinately durable, industry human beings' misuse of the British tongue.